This one specific feature in Red Dead Online was ruined, and the community is absolutely furious, and we are going to be talking about that inside of this video. So drop a like if you guys do go on to enjoy today's video, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, and make sure to follow me on Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram at HazardousHDTV to stay up to date with all the latest and greatest Red Dead Redemption 2 news and information. I also want to mention I am live every single day on twitch.tv, so if you are in the market for daily Red Dead Online live streams, you can be sure to always have a channel that's excited to have a conversation and play Red Dead Online with you. The feature we are going to be talking about is the Slippery ability card, and this card was the free aimer's dream in Red Dead, and even for those players who were not super hyped about the free aim in a game where auto aim is enabled by default for all players, this card allowed those to adapt to the more straightforward ability cards to learn and master, like Slow and Steady and Paint It Black. And to put it simply, Slippery was the one card where a large majority of players thought they had a fighting chance against other more skilled players, or those who have played the game long enough to learn how to play the game in such a way to have quick reflexes and reactions in certain gunfights and situations. But in the newest Red Dead Online update, this card was nerfed, and straight out of the patch notes, Rockstar mentions the following new changes to the Slippery ability card in the brand new Frontier Pursuits DLC update. For one, the Slippery card no longer prevents player lock-on when activated. When locked onto a player using Slippery, weapon accuracy spread will be significantly increased, and fired bullets will be pushed towards the outer edge of the reticle, and the same penalty effect also applies to the player using Slippery when attempting to lock onto other players. Now, here are my thoughts on why these changes happened, why this is bad for some players, and how these direct nerfs that Rockstar made to the card are made even worse with the new combat mechanics that came with the Frontier Pursuits DLC update. This is also going to be more off the dome, so excuse me for the more casual conversation, but let's just start on with the first thing that changed with Slippery, and we'll move on down the list here. This card no longer prevents player lock-on when activated. Basically, the biggest draw to the Slippery card for a lot of people was the fact that even though you were in free aim when using the Slippery card, other players were also in free aim when they were trying to target you. So basically, when you activated Slippery, when you activated Deadeye, you went into free aim, and anyone else who tried to battle and fight you also was in free aim when they were trying to target you. And that was perhaps the biggest draw, because that allowed you to kind of chicken dance around them, either get the drop on them, flank them, run straight at them almost, and just zigzag back and forth, swap to your shotgun, disable the card, and blast them in the face from like half a foot away, or tackle them. That's how a lot of people used it. Paint It Black was an easy way to counter. I was a big Paint It Black player, and I still am, although I am kind of changing up my playstyle with this new update, and I will have an ability cards video for that coming soon here on the channel, probably in the next couple days here. But with the Slippery card, that was the way people use it. They used it to actually just avoid getting locked onto, avoid getting targeted with the auto aim in this game. Some people use the narrow lock on the wide aim settings. I use wide aim settings because I feel like that helps me more than it hurts me. Sometimes I lock onto the wrong player, but that's, you know, locking onto the wrong player and getting a kill is still better than not locking onto a player sometimes at all when using the narrow lock on. But I digress. Slippery was used in that sense, and now that the fact that you can't be in free aim for other people when you're using Slippery pretty much ruins the card right there. The fact that people can just lock onto you is honestly kind of crazy, because now Slippery doesn't really have too, like, I don't know what's so, you know, quote unquote slippery about it. But moving on here, we have when locked onto a player using Slippery, weapon accuracy will be significantly increased. Now, this is technically a buff for the card right there. Your accuracy is going to be increased. Fired bullets will be pushed towards the edge of the reticle as well. So when you see that little circle, I'm not too sure how big that circle is when you're moving versus when you're just standing there taking aim versus when you're crouching versus crouching when you're moving. There's a whole bunch of different variations of the accuracy in the reticle there, but it sounds like it's been greatly increased because of this, and that sounds like a buff in and of itself. But now that's actually making your free aim harder, except for the fact that the fired bullets will be pushed towards the outer edge of the reticle. So basically what this means is you're going to have a tighter spread, but your bullets are going to impact that whole circle. Whereas before, that circle was just to guide you, saying this is where your bullets can go, but they're going to a lot of the times hit that dot in the middle. That's where like the center mass of your bullet is going to go. But if you're moving, it can go left, right, diagonal, up and down, side to side, up and down. It doesn't even matter. But now with this, the spread is going to be tighter, but your bullets are going to impact more of the outer edge of that circle, which technically is a buff in and of itself, like I'm saying. But the fact that you can't actually be in free aim for other people when you have Slippery active, just having that as the ability to the card makes it almost useless in my opinion. Your Jedi is going to drain super fast, and the fact that that's really the only bonus you have, because remember, the same penalty effects also apply to the player using Slippery when attempting to lock onto other players as well. When they're in Slippery, that same thing is going to happen. Now, the interesting thing here is there are a lot of free aimers in Red Dead Online. There is a huge free aim community, and even the players who aren't necessarily obsessed with free aim are not fans of this change because it impacts their gameplay both in the PvE and the PvP side of things. I wouldn't recommend ever using Slippery in PvE anyway, unless you're a big PvP person in the free roam itself. When I say PvE in my videos, I mean the free roam. I don't necessarily mean, you know, anything else that PvE means. It means player versus environment. You wouldn't want to use Slippery on NPCs anyway, so don't think I'm saying that. I'm saying if you're trying to PvP in the free roam, that's PvE, and PvP is obviously player versus player, like showdowns and things like that. So normal players are affected in both modes, but the free aim community is super upset. But Rockstar is, in a sense, listening. They added a free aim only featured series mode to make those players happy. And, you know, at a glance, I tried it out. I thought those were the new combat mechanic changes because I was like, wow, I'm not locking onto anyone. But no duh, it was a free aim mode. The aim assist is still seems to be active in the free aim mode. There is just no actual automatic targeting. So if your reticle passes over a player in the new free aim mode, it'll slow down and kind of stick to them, and that's what true aim assist is. That is the actual meaning of aim assist. Most console games, in fact, pretty much all of them, have some type of aim assist. The only ones that I know for sure that don't are competitive shooters like Rainbow Six Siege, but Call of Duty and Battlefield have aim assist as well. You can turn it off, but there's really no point because everyone has it enabled by default, and that helps you get kills. But in this game, in this free aim mode, it seems like there's a slight bit of aim assist, but there is no automatic targeting. Now, that would be good in and of itself, but now we have to worry about the new Rockstar Red Dead Online mechanic changes that they did to the game. And basically with this is everything is faster. You're running, you're dodging, you're crouch walking, you're sprinting, you're weapon swapping, you're firing. Everything has been doubled in speed. It's like a very twitchy arcade feel. And although the animations look silly in my opinion, I think it was a necessary change. I've talked about this in my combat mechanic changes video. You guys can go check that out on my channel if you guys would like. But I know that the people who rely on the Slippery card and even just free aiming in general are not a fan of this because now it is super hard to hit your shots. Basically, we all went from a very clunky, slow, disaster mess of control systems in this game to like a very fast shooter type, you know, mechanic base. And I think it's good. You guys can differ in opinions. You guys can hate it. You guys can love it. Whatever that is. But I think it was necessary for the game, but it does come with some collateral damage, and that collateral damage is not only the Slippery players, but also free aimers in general. And so I just kind of wanted to touch on both of these things in this video. Rockstar definitely has room to dial those mechanics back. I think a lot of the things can be dialed back a little bit. It's more similar to Red Dead Redemption 1 multiplayer now, in my opinion, where basically if you're coming out of a sprint and you decide to ADS or aim down sights, you're already running. You can kind of dodge and chicken dance side to side kind of fast. It's just now in this game, we have the actual dodging in this game, whereas in Red Dead Redemption 1 online, it was rolling and it was a little bit easier to target people. Now with the headshot changes as well, it's worth it to go for body shots. So this multiplayer now more reflects Red Dead Redemption 1 multiplayer, which is pretty sweet in my opinion. It actually feels like we're playing a video game for now, and we're not always fighting against the controls. I know, you know, the heavy, clunky realism is what drew a lot of people to the game, but we have the story mode for that. With the online, I prefer to have a control system that's responsive, that reflects my own controller input, and I'm not constantly having to spam buttons and the analog sticks thinking the game is broken. But no, it's just the combat that's very piss poor in this game. But now that's changed, and I'm very happy about that in my opinion. But with all of that said and out of the way, that is everything here that is up on deck for this video here today. Despite all the new and amazing content that released, the free aim community in Red Dead Online as well as the Slippery players are just really not happy about these changes. And to be honest, if I was a part of that community, I would be upset as well. But hopefully you all enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Are you happy or disappointed with these changes? What would you have done differently if you are not satisfied with these changes? And also, have you given the new free aim shootout mode a try? die. Whatever it is, feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And hopefully you enjoyed the video. Make sure you drop a like down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Red Dead Online and Red Dead Redemption 2. I got you covered with the best of updates, news, information, tips, tricks, leaks, and all of that good stuff. And also Grand Theft Auto Online and The Last of Us Part 2 content. Can't forget about those. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram to also get connected with me outside of YouTube, you can follow me at HazardousHDTV, and all of those links can be found in the description down below. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next Red Dead Online video. Adios, amigos.